Hello and welcome back to Starfish Point. My name is Nebman, we're playing City Skylines 2 and I'm the founder of Nebman Industries. I've got an unlimited budget to create the city of my dreams and that's exactly what we're doing. I've built a very own custom map and started my adventure of just building whatever I want to build, a city that I want to build, and it's really coming together and the support for you guys is absolutely amazing. Yeah, brilliant, really good, going along really well. I think we're probably going to be on episode about 35 this one, and this is going to be a big one. In the previous couple of episodes, we built the airport, which links into what we're doing now, and then we started placing down a bit of transport, which is fine. But this episode is going to be awesome. I'm really stoked for this. So we're going to be developing a huge urban central business district full of kind of landmarks, beautification, skyscrapers, stuff like that. A really big kind of urban downtown area. Obviously, we've got a couple pockets of mid-sized skyscrapers, as you can see. But this is going to be the sweet stuff. This is going to be big buildings, and it's going to look fabulous. So I've got a few ideas I'm really excited to share. Like always, if you want early access to these videos, you can join the membership on my channel. You can become a channel member. You just get early access to the members, but don't worry, if you don't want to do that, you still get to see all of the videos that I post just a little bit later than the rest. So in the previous episodes, we built this fantastic looking airport, beautiful entrance that we've got going on here. I really do like the way that this has turned out. It's not too busy at the moment because we haven't quite got much going on. But that's the whole point of today's episode. So obviously we've got this airport here. It's a little bit out of the way, but it's got the transport connections. And we placed down this nice sizable train station down in this section, which looks really nice. I love the way that that looks, but we need to develop this large area that you see in front of us, this empty space with no trees, into a central sort of business district, bustling skyscrapers, so on and so forth. The idea is that now that we've got the international airport placed down over here, we've got investments from all around the world, and we're going to basically utilize those investments to build up and draw in as many tourists as humanly possible. Because as you see, the city is beautiful. It'll attract enough tourists as it is because it's just fabulous to look at. But why not have a taller building section of our city and make it look just that little bit nicer? So I've got a few ideas. Some of them are going to be more difficult than others, but the first thing that we need to do is, it sounds a bit weird because I've kind of just placed half of this down, but I'm going to get rid of these roads down here. Just for now, we're just going to get rid of them. Save that one, and we're going to get rid of these. We're probably going to leave this train line here just for the time being, but we'll figure that out at a later date. We also want to just make sure that we keep these connections up with where they want to go, otherwise our lovely little city is not, our big train station is not going to have enough power to continue to function. But yes, we'll link that back up, that has enough power, but yes, here we are. Here we have it, our area of doom. This is going to be a difficult one, and I feel like on the face of it, I'm not sure if I'm going to have enough space to do what I want to do. But we will cross that bridge when we get to it. But first things first, I wanted to set up a different sort of road layout that goes down here. Essentially from this road here, I want it to be slightly different. I want to create a unique sort of entrance into this main city. My kind of idea is I want this to be some sort of, as it's the entrance to the city, I want it to be nice and magnificent, and everywhere you look as you come in, I want it to look fantastic. So that's what we're going to go for, and to be honest with you, I might even just use this as highway. I don't see why not. I think we probably could do that. So the idea that I kind of have is that I want these lanes to kind of stretch out ever so slightly, broaden out, and then we have like a wider sort of width here, if you know what I mean. So we would have those coming out like that, and then it stretching into a wider avenue, kind of like that sort of idea, and that would also go up here like that, and that would just basically create a sort of wider avenue, but obviously not looking the way that it's looking, because that looks awful. So I'm trying to start out by just stenciling out roughly where we would want this to go to width-wise. So essentially we would want it about this sort of width. The next thing that we need to kind of think of is how we're going to essentially link up these lanes up with each other without making it look awful. So let's just start by drawing back all of this, and to be honest with you, I might pause the game and just move that for the time being. Okay, and we need these to be the same sort of length. I think that seems right. Same sort of length. And then what I want to do is I want to grab some 2-lane roads, preferably highways, because I don't want the pavements and stuff attached to it. Essentially what I want to do is I want to draw it out to about here. I need it to be centre. No, that's not quite going to work, is it? I'm being a bit silly. This is going to be a lot of trial and error, so I need that to come out to here. Let's maybe complex. Let's try and complex curve it. Let's go round. You know what? I'll mess around with this off camera because it's going to be. We're going to be here a while, and this is not the key point that I want to be showcasing. Right, I've got the idea down. Kind of like this. It splits off. The only issue that I might have is the fact that I want this to be kind of a central green park area, and with highways crossing over there might be problems. So I'm going to just try and see what it looks like if I potentially upgrade these to normal one-way roads. Hopefully it doesn't mess up too much. Honestly, it looks alright, to be fair. Let's just see, what if I was to upgrade this to this? Still look okay? Or did it look better as a 4-lane highway? I feel like it might have looked better as a 4-lane highway, to be honest with you. Let's just have a little look again. I think that looks better than the others, to be honest. Obviously we don't need these zebra crossings here at all. Okay, interesting. I've just realised something really annoying, that this train line is going to go basically over where we don't want that to go over. So we might have to lower this down, take it underneath, and then reconnect upwards. Because we don't want to ruin the grand entrance, do we? I think we're probably going to have to do that. Which is a little bit annoying, to be honest with you. But it's better to do it and spot these things early doors. Otherwise we're going to be here for a very long time trying to get things right after we've built everything that we want to build. Built everything we want to build? Built everything we want to build? I don't know. I don't speak English. Sorry. So we need to run this train line with all of these bad boys, and we want to eventually connect that underground if we can. I think it's going to have to go -20. I want to try and keep it that sort of cornering. We want to drag that all the way underneath here, like that, and then we need to somehow incline this bad boy all the way out of here into there, which, to be fair, was a lot easier than I initially anticipated. That's not too bad at all. Yeah, it'll be a steep slope and it's not entirely realistic, but I think it's fine for the time being, and we'll We'll sort out decorating this area as well a little bit later down the line once we've confirmed that we actually want that to be how it is. So we'll just draw this back slightly, just so it's kind of a little bit out of the way and we can focus on what we want to do. Good, right, so that's a little bit better. Okay, that's a nice grand entrance. I feel like we're going to have to terraform a little bit and create some more space up here. Because at the moment that's going to be a little bit too tight, I think, to do what we want to do. So I'll give you an idea of kind of my plan is. So you come into the city and then the first thing you kind of go down, this splits into two, and then what we want down here is, it's going to look ridiculous at the moment, but once we actually blend it in and build around it, it will look fantastic, hopefully. We basically want this as our landmark building, the first thing that you kind of see as you come in. I think that'll be quite a nice feature to have. We just need to get it lined up quite nicely, which I think about there is fine. Kind of like a grand sort of entrance into the area here, which once we decorate out a little bit, it'll probably look pretty fantastic, I think. So let's just, well, I'm tempted to, I'm undecided on how we want to run with this bit here. That completely central, I think it is. Because we could either do it like this and just have essentially the building surrounded by the roads, which doesn't look too bad, to be honest, or we could do something alternative, but I'm not entirely sure about the alternative just yet. We might leave it like that for the time being, and then figure out a plan of how to make this look a little bit nicer. So the first thing that I want to do is try and find this surface, and we want to kind of carry it on over. What surface are you going to be is the question. Potentially something in here. Maybe these. Is that going to be the right one? Have a little look. No, that's not right, is it? That's not right at all. What are you? None of those. Don't think it's one of these. It's going to be in here somewhere. Oh, it might actually just be that. Obviously, that probably makes sense, won't it? Oh, no, clearly not. Is it going to be that? No. Is it going to be that? Oh, it's this one. Yeah, that's the right one. Good. So that's the first one. Fantastic. So the first thing that we want to do is I want to potentially align this if we can. I wonder if that's gonna... I want to know if that's going to cover over the road or not. No, it doesn't, which is good, which means that we can actually probably perfectly align that, which is really helpful. Yeah, no, that's good. Fantastic. Alright, so let's get rid of that and use this to make sure it's perfectly aligned. So we'll run across here, like so, and then we're going to actually bring this probably all the way down to there, and then we want to do exactly the same. So in theory that should match up perfectly now. That should be the perfect straight line. Good. And then all we need to do is kind of bring this out a little bit more, and hopefully that will then fill in that gap. Good, it's looking better already. Alright, good. And then the next thing that we want to do is same sort of idea, but we want to have a few cross sections of the plaza. So something like this that kind of go across. Maybe one more just here. Problem is, I don't know how wide they all are because there's nothing to kind of guide me. I mean, that looks pretty decent, to be fair, for a first attempt. That's not too bad at all. Yeah, I think that's all right. And then we want to fill in all of these little gaps with green grass and see how that looks. Okay, it's looking better with that little bit of green grass, but I think there's a little bit too much tarmac within the middle here. So what we might do is we might try and essentially pick from these lines, because in theory they should be similar sort of, well, it should be central, right? And we want a little bit of green. That's not straight at all, is it? If that's straight, I'm losing my mind. That is definitely not straight. Right, maybe that's not going to work. Maybe... Ooh, it's going to be difficult. We want, potentially, from here... That's that point to that point. But that's also not straight, is it? Never going to be straight. Maybe we're just going to have to kind of make do. Because actually I don't think this is even going to show up over the top of here either, is it? Oh, it goes underneath, which is no good to anybody. So we might actually be in a little bit of a spot of bother there. Interesting. What do we do? I'm seeing if we can maybe make it work with some footpaths going through. And see kind of what we end up with, because they technically come through, and that looks pretty central, probably as central as you're going to get, to be honest with you. And obviously we need some people to walk through it at the same time, so yeah, that's kind of what we're trying to do. Now my next thing is we kind of want... We're never going to get that central, that's the problem. So we kind of want two. So that's not going to help us. That's not really going to help us. We want to try and maybe get one through there. Then one essentially right next to it, but it's not going to work, I don't think. Can certainly fit one in, and then we'll do that. We'll fit one in, and then we'll go from there. So that would go across here, like that. That's about similar, and then we just need to try and get one across there too. I'll be honest, we're never ever going to get that quite perfect, but I mean it's going to be fine. Once we decorate it, it'll look absolutely fine. So no dramas at all. Cool. Right, next thing we want to do is this little bit here. We could probably do with maybe some sort of fountain or similar. I think most of them are probably going to be a little bit too big, so it might be a case of finding one of the residential fountains, which there are some. I've seen them before. Where are you, residential fountainiers? I'm going to have a little look, because I certainly don't know where they are, unless we just want to do this instead. But I don't think that really fits there. So I've just tweaked the design slightly to what we were originally going for, just to have these two funny looking circular sections within here. I think that looks quite nice in my opinion. We've got this small fountain here, but we might change that. I'm not sure about that just yet. Potentially change it to maybe this obelisk or something similar, because it kind of mimics the tower in a way. It's the same sort of shape, so we might actually just change that now while we're here. We'll get rid of you, and then we'll out this obelisk like that, just like that, and it kind of mimics, it's like a small version of that, isn't it? I wonder if we can get rid of this. Yeah, good. Looking better, looking better. This is going to be a long episode, and potentially this whole area might be split into two, because there's a lot of stuff I'm trying to get right in here. So yeah, we might be here a little while to just manage your expectations. Good, right. The next thing that we want to do is I think potentially some hedges along this section, just to kind of close off the greenery a little bit, would look quite nice. Just some low sized hedges, so we just close off these, and we might have it run down on this side as well, to be honest with you. If we just hook it up to the side of the road. That's not quite right, is it? Not quite right. No, it seems to be clicking a bit bizarrely. Want it kind of there. Maybe we should line it with the road first. Like so. We want that to just go to... It's all this snapping, isn't it, that's causing problems. No, that one still doesn't help us. So that one might be fine. If we just do that, that should look a little bit better. This is definitely the easier section to do because it's just square. So we'll just do this. And then hopefully that'll look a little bit better once we're done. So that looks a lot better, but I'm kind of toying with the idea of having this hedge flow all the way down here. Just leaving a little bit of space for the walkers to get out. Who's really going to walk down here? But I'm kind of toying with the idea of potentially having that curve all the way to the end here. And then essentially curving the way like that. I feel like that looks a little bit smarter, in my opinion. I think that looks a little bit nicer. You might disagree, but yeah, you know what? Maybe this... He's come back. What are you doing? Oi! I'll nut ya. What are you doing? You're obstructing the view. To be honest, I think people just... I'm just saying this to kind of please myself here. People only walk down here to go and see the obelisk, which is actually the architect's template of our tower here. And we'll put maybe a couple boards or something here that says this is how this was built, like the model that was built before this was built. So we don't actually need entrances here, plus it's quite a busy road. So I think you come in here, you read this, you're like, whoa, that's interesting. Then you turn around and the tower that you've just read about is there. I think that's quite a good idea. So maybe we'll find some little things to pop down here, something that will look quite nice to kind of matchy it a bit. I think that is probably an idea. I'm just going to use these very small little signs here, because there's not really much. I mean, there's loads of signs as you can see, but just not quite right. They're all either really big, or they say like park on them or something like that. So we're not really getting much that we could potentially use. Potentially this would maybe work. To be fair, this one's probably better. Although it says park info, I think having like boards that you kind of look down on probably makes a little bit more sense. Ask me, I reckon that's probably going to make a little bit more sense. So having a couple of these, just like this, we will pretend that it doesn't say park info, and that kind of reads about the development of the building as such. I think that'll be fine. I don't think that's a problem. That'll be alright. No dramas, no problem at all, son. Absolutely fantastic stuff. I did toy with the idea of maybe changing the surface of this area ever so slightly to something different. Maybe different colour of paving, maybe across just like that. But I'm not entirely sure if that's gonna. I think that's alright. I don't know about the colour, not gonna lie, I'm not sure about the colour. Maybe we'll change the colour because that's a bit Oh, we haven't done that, have we? We certainly have. What are we like? We're the professional at messing things up. So we've added a few benches, plant pots within the middle, a few benches, then a plant pots alongside here, so that people can come and relax on their lunch break and chill out and have a little seat. We need something within these circles here. Probably our best bet will be something similar to maybe these. Yeah, I think these will probably do nicely. So just have them kind of placed around the circle in the middle, just to have a little bit of a nicer sort of area. Just kind of breaks up all of this tiled concrete as well, because it does get a bit sickly after a while, doesn't it? So we'll do this on each of them, then we will reassess and see how we're looking. That's fine, and we'll do the same here. There we go, I think that looks a lot better now. So we've got the benches, we've got this little bit at the end, park info, blah blah blah. Benches along the outside with nice few bushes in between, some little plant pots around the fountains, a nice little place to grab a little bit of food, sit out on the chairs at the plaza, and so on and so forth around here. But I think that looks quite nice. I think that's quite a nice sort of grand entrance into the main city hub. You can tell that we've invested a lot of money into this, and the upkeep is going to be tremendous, but I think it looks really nice. I quite like the look of that. I think that's quite nice and fancy. Yeah, I'm happy with how that little section's turned up. Yeah, pretty good. Spot on if you ask me. Now what I'd like to do is continue the flow of being able to walk around our city, so I might just continue a nice little kind of greenway sort of area that flows this way towards the train station. So I'm going to try and go with that and see how it works out. Hopefully it'll be alright. But if we kind of just bring that round from that sort of area and hopefully link up to this pathway, that should be pretty spot on. It probably would have been easier if we used parallel roads, but nevertheless, we live and we learn. Can't perfect everything, or can't be right every time. So we will just continue with trying to kind of bring that little greenway out, link it up. We might even just essentially stretch this one out, essentially in a straight sort of line. See if we can just link it up quite nicely like that, and then all of this can be a nice sort of green park area, because we would like quite a lot of greenery within our city, so it kind of makes sense to have it. Let's kind of go with that idea for the time being. Kind of like that. Then we could probably have a couple that connect these two just like that, if for whatever reason you want to switch paths to save that extra 3 seconds that it costs to go round. I think that'd be quite nice. Yeah, I think that's quite nice. I like that. And then we're gonna fill this bit in though with green. We don't want it to be kind of concrete the whole way, because it'll get a bit dull. I reckon if we have all of that kind of plateau concrete surface the whole way. So we'll fill that in with green and see how it looks. Yeah, I like the look of that. I think that idea will fit quite nicely in, because we can also blend in this little tunnel too. Once we decorate this, I think it'll look fantastic. But I'm not going to do that just yet, because I want to try something else, which then once we've got that down, we can lead this side of the pathway into that sort of area here. So bear with me and I'll try and figure out a plan. Right, hear me out. I want this train track to cut through the building. I know it sounds a bit crazy, but I want that to happen. I think that would be fantastic. So we need to kind of figure out a plan of how we're going to make this happen. I mean, I say make this happen, it's literally doing what we want it to do right now, but If we want this to happen, we need it to be kind of right, and we need it to flow pretty nicely through, with a kind of enough clearance to get through. I mean, it probably make more sense for us to see. That's yeah. I mean that kind of works because then the post is right in the middle here. So that's the center point. So that post then goes through there. I don't think anybody's going to hit their heads here. I think that probably will be okay. I think that looks all right. It's just, yeah. I think that's quite unique, if you ask me. That's pretty cool. So I might have a little mess around with this, see if we can kind of get it a little bit better and a little bit nicer. And then we'll see whether we like this idea or not. So my brain's going into a bit of overdrive trying to make this actually look nice, because obviously it doesn't come with any surfaces and it doesn't come with basically anything. And I'm trying to connect it up to make it look somewhat better. It's not really working very well at the moment, but I think if we just decorate it a little bit, as much as we can, and then see how it looks, we might end up okay. But we don't know until we try, do we? So let's just give it a go. I think that looks so much better with just a few trees. I think that certainly looks a lot nicer than it did beforehand. Yeah, ignore all of that over there. That's just me testing out buildings and seeing what will fit where. But yeah, I think that looks pretty decent if you ask me, to be fair. Not too bad at all. I might consider here, I wonder if we can fit maybe some small parking or something similar in here. Something like these, or even these. Maybe that'll fit better. Just put one of these in here or something like that, or a few of these. Maybe a few of these will probably be a little bit better. Maybe not. Undecided on how we're going to deal with this bit. We want to cover it up, don't we? We want to cover up this train sort of track area. So maybe we don't really want that connected into here either. Yes. Unsure. Maybe parks or similar. We'll have a look. I honestly think parking all of this out is probably going to be our best bet, because then it still has all of that greenery that we kind of want. It fills in the gaps. It kind of eases the eyesore of the railway line as well. So I think we'll probably park all of that out, tree it all out, see if we can cover up this railway line tunnel as much as we can, and then we'll kind of go from there. I'm not really sure what this road's doing, but we'll figure that out at some point, but just not at the moment. We just want to kind of blend that building in just a little bit better, and then we should be rocking, hopefully. So I'll just place down a few more trees, and hopefully we'll be looking a little bit nicer. Now, I'm kind of toying with the idea of what we're going to do with the coastline, because we've got plenty of beaches over there. I don't think we need this beach. Instead, I think I'd rather actually have it as quays than have a quay sort of area along the embankment instead of the beach. And I think that would look actually quite cool. So we might try and give that a go. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring out the coastline a little bit, and then we will essentially put quays all along it and then start working on it from there. So hopefully we'll get something decent going. So get rid of that. Okay, and then we're going to try and bring out our coast just a little bit, kind of like that, all the way along where we're kind of going, which will be all the way around here. That's coming along relatively nicely, I think. And then all the way up right to the tip, just over here, like that. And then I think if we have it like that, we can do something quite nice with the coastline instead of having it beach, because we've got so many beaches. We just want to switch up slightly. It just gets a little bit repetitive. So let's grab that all the way out to there. That seems about right, doesn't it? Doesn't seem majorly off at all. Yeah, no, it seems good to me. Right, so we're going to try and put a key along here. Who knows how this is going to end up, but we'll certainly give it a go. We'll probably use this narrow key with pedestrian path, unless there's any large keys. No, they're all narrow keys. So let's start off. Oh, got the wrong thing. And let's just start off and see how we kind of get on. See what it ends up looking like. Hopefully it will look okay, and it won't drop down loads, but you see some of it gets really flat and it's very bizarre. I don't know why it changes. Is it because there's not enough land? Which might be the reason. So if we draw that out a little bit and then look it up again from there, hoping that that should, we then draw the land back. I'm just using this as an experiment. And if we then go like this, it doesn't do it, does it? What if we manually add keys to the side? Right, does it then? Okay, so if we just draw it and then add the keys, it should drop the land back on our behalf. Hopefully, fingers crossed. We'll try that method and see what happens. Okay, I think as a whole that's not looking too bad at all. I think that's looks pretty nice and flush. Obviously when you zoom out it goes a little bit weird at certain points, which you might be able to address. It's just a bit glitchy, like everything within the game sometimes, or any games that you play. It's just a little bit glitchy. So there's nothing that we can really do about some of this. So even if we zoom out like that, it still glitches out just a little bit, but it gives us more solid sort of coastline here, which I think is quite nice to have. I think that looks a lot better. Good. Right. Now, my idea for the quayside is to have some sort of greenery park walkable area basically alongside here, and then once we've got that down we can start placing down some more fabulous looking buildings and kind of blend it in a little bit. So we kind of want to start with this, make this look a little bit nicer. I'm tempted to possibly see if we can put a parking lane on here. I'm not sure. Maybe it'll probably be easier if we just grab ourselves one of these, potentially draw it out ever so slightly, like, or to be honest, if we actually just do this along the edge here, and then we, yeah, that'll work probably, hopefully. If we just basically drag that along the edge, we might be able to link it up. Hopefully. Fingers crossed. Who knows? So the first thing I'm working on is this little car parking area here. It's nothing crazy or magnificent. It's simply just a small parking area alongside the quay, basically. Just for places, well, for people to park, obviously. So yeah, that's just what we're doing there. We want to try and put a line of trees, or a row of trees, just along the outside of that. Something similar to this. And we probably want to grab maybe a hedge. See if we can hedge that up. Why is it not snapping to anything? I've got all the snapping options on. But yeah, just a little hedge, something like that. It gets dark behind that tower, doesn't it? Then a little hedge down there. Might have one right at the back of the parking spaces, which just connects those there. I think that looks okay, and then we might just run the hedge along the back here as well. Just don't want it to take up the parking space, but I think it wants to. So we might just have to, no, it's because it's slightly angled. Yeah, let's get rid of that one, and then hopefully that should allow us to click a little bit better. Something like that's a little bit better, I think, in my opinion. And then that's nice and hedged off. Cool. Don't worry, we're going to decorate the rest of it, but just for the time being, a little bit of parking alongside the edge will work a treat. So I'm just working on initially pathing some of this out so that we can kind of get an idea of where our greenery is going to go. So that's kind of what we're going for, just putting a few paths down here and there just to give us a better sort of idea. I think right at the tip here we'll probably take a little bit more space than we usually would, have it more of a grassy sort of area up here. I'm not sure how we're going to do that though, so we might have to actually path it out from the edge instead of curving it like I just did. So maybe did something similar to bringing that out from there, bringing that out from there, and then bringing those out just like that. Hopefully should make our lives just a little bit easier when we try to connect it all up. Fingers crossed, hopefully. Okay. It's not really doing what we want it to do, to be honest. Something like, probably that will be okay, I reckon. Something like that, probably be fine. Yeah, that'll be alright, that'll be no dramas at all. And then we just want to draw that all the way down. All the way along here. We want this to be really a nice sort of walkable area of our city, this new downtown, because we've got the money, we've got the space as such, so we might as well try and make it as walkable as possible instead of just bunging down roads everywhere and going crazy. I thought I had lost the plot, but there is actually a tornado in my city and I don't know why. What on earth is going on? That is not a good day in the office. What on earth? So we need to somehow turn natural. I don't even know why it's on. Oh gosh, right, that's a problem. So I don't know where else, if any natural disasters have hit anywhere else and I've not noticed. Oh man, what a problem. What a problem. I'm going to have to sort this out. That's a massive tornado as well. What on earth? Right, be back in a sec. At least it's kind of not destroying the main bits at the moment. We can probably replace the majority of this, but what a disaster. Literally, what a disaster. Why have they... Right, has it broken anything? I don't think it's broken anything, so we might actually have just survived that. We might be alright. Praise the Lord. Oh my goodness, that's not what I need. But anyway, where were we? So this space here I'm just going to change ever so slightly because this China downtown office building is really quite a nice looking building, and I think it would pretty much fit perfectly in here. I think this is a really nice spot for it. So I might have that essentially right on here. What, can we hook it up to the road ourselves? Snap it up. and see how that looks. I think that's a good little spot for it. I don't think that's too bad at all. It's kind of got this little viewing platform which could possibly be a restaurant or something similar. Nice bit of glass as well. I think that's quite a nice little building to have on the coast here. It's not too overshadowing, overlooking. But yeah, we will hold on to that one. We like that. We'll keep that there, and then we'll try and build this back around it. Okay, now that we've sorted that back out, we need to try and greenify our kind of key greenway. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to put the green surfaces down, the grass surfaces, and just see how we get on. See how it ends up looking, and then decorate it from there. So just to update you about how it's going along, we've added in this little park area right at the end of this kind of cul-de-sac. Kind of links in with this building here. We did actually have a train go through here a minute ago, but I was too slow to be able to show you it coming through. Has we got any other trains potentially going to come through, please? That'd be nice. Maybe. Oh! Here we go. Go on. Let's have a look. We've got to enjoy it together. Come on. You don't have a choice. Watch. Hopefully, said train will go through the building. Wow! Unbelievable. Anyway, so yes, we've decorated around the edge here. We've got this building, obviously, there. The car park. And another little park bit here. We've extended our greenway that goes across just like so, basically covering up where the train track would kind of be. And I think it's looking quite nice in this area, although it's been so many hours and we've actually not really built that much. But Rome wasn't built in a day, neither was Starfish Point. Now, I'm in two minds. One mind, we can just keep this as it is and we will build around it. The second mind is we could kind of put a canal, cut this off, and have a waterway that goes through here, and then some buildings on the edge there. I think that would be quite cool, having the canal go through. Just cross that off and then have this like as a kind of tip peninsula little island sort of thing. Oh, you know what? I hate myself for it. I really do, because I take out so much extra time that is necessary. I think it would be cool to have that. I think it would be cool. No, that's it. We're doing it. YOLO. I'll be back in a momento with a canal. Oh dear, what am I like? Just so that you know how I build these canals, I will show you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use footpaths as the actual canal, and all we're going to do is just drag this essentially across like so. Then we want to drop that basically back into that corner there, and that will basically cut off that section of the island. The next thing that we need to do is get rid of these pathways that were in between. Hopefully we can get rid of that. And then the same over here, we'll get rid of those like so. And then we want to key up the edge of these. Can't even find the key. Just like that. Essentially key that up alongside the inside of this, obviously, because that's where the water will go. So just like that. Just like that. And then, oh no, this is going to be a problem now. This is karma for me using one massive piece of... Yeah, what an idiot I am. I knew that would bite me. I knew that would happen. Oh dear, why have I done this? Oh no. I don't think there's any getting away from this, to be honest with you. Because this is all one giant piece. Oh no. What are we like? Let's have a look. Yeah, it's basically all one huge piece. It's for the greater good. I can't even see whether... Oh right, no, there is a grass surface there. Fantastic. So we can actually just draw this one back. Praise the Lord, because that would have been a long struggle. Good, and then we just need to fill in the grass surface back there again when we can. And then we'll grab our level terrain tool, tick that up to 100, reduce the size ever so slightly to about that, use this kind of level here. We might even reduce the size of that a little bit. And basically just push the water through, and hopefully that will make us a splendid little canal. It's easier because we've got the water that flows from the sea, because we've built a lot of inland ones in this series, but hopefully this will look quite nice, and it should fill itself pretty easily. So I'll finish this up and then we'll take a little look. So that's gradually starting to fill up now. This area is looking quite nice. Obviously there's so much to do, but let's try and bring this road through here, so that when we're ready we can work on said road. So we want that essentially run across like that. Hopefully, and we want to obviously get rid of key. Don't want that. We want you to be elevated, please, sir. So we want that to go across there. Kind of want it to try and pierce the centre. It's going to be slightly off, so maybe we'll actually do it a little bit shorter, to about that sort of distance. But then that still gives us a nice sort of road down here. And what I'd like for this section here is I'd like some luxury kind of waterfront apartments, taller skyscraper style waterfront apartments is what I really want to go for. And I do have an idea of what ones that I want to do. Do I want to do that now, or do I want to finish this off first is the question. I can't even see it. That surface doesn't look right, but I can't even see it. There we go. Just do that, sorry. Distracted again. Don't know how I saw that from all the way back there. But yeah, I want essentially like a nice skyscraper style apartments here. I might get them and have a look. So these are the buildings that I want to go for, and I kind of like the placement of them there, to be honest with you. Having 3 of them all kind of descending in height, I think looks really, really nice at that sort of angle. Right on the edge as well. I think that's a pretty decent spot for it, to be honest. Yeah, I think we're going to stick with that. I think we'll stick with that. I think that looks fantastic. Just need to try and somehow tidy up these roads a little bit. Okay, so we've tried we've kind of rejigged this road slightly so it goes all the way through and over, and we've added this extra connection. Don't ask me why, but we just have done it. I think it kind of makes sense to have it there, so it's going to remain there for the time being. We need to try and blend these buildings in a little bit better with a few pathways and stuff like that, various connections that will be helpful for any sort of residents that are wanting to move around this area. It's probably going to be a case of that's going to be a little strange, that pathway, but it will work. And we want to try and get in between these and draw a few pathways across in between, some simple connections. Same over here. Just like that, and then we want to try and link up a few little things around this sort of area. Was that straight? We don't want that to be straight. Let's rejig that a little bit, and then hopefully this will start to look a little bit nicer. Maybe if we actually just draw that all the way out here, and then maybe connect that up to there. Is that going to work? Should work. Yeah, that's fine. And then we can just bring that outwards like so. And that one can go up there like so. Then we have just a few more little connections here that will just help us slightly just to blend everything in a little bit better, because it does go a little bit strange here and there. So if we just do that, and then that should allow us to actually build around it, blend it a little bit. But I think that's quite a cool idea, having them there. It looks quite nice, looks special. Although they are technically offices, they could easily be mixed use, you know, in real life. Could easily be mixed use, so yeah, I'm happy with them. So I filled this gap in here with the signature building, whatever this is. I think that looks quite cool. That's quite a nice fit for it. It's not too, doesn't draw too much attention. Yeah, I think that fits quite nicely. And I've decorated around this sort of area as well with just trees and stuff. Added a few little props on the edge as well of the canal, which I think looks quite nice. We just need to fill in this little spot here now with something. It's going to be something smaller because it's not a very large space, but we can certainly have a little look to see what we can potentially fit in there, and hopefully we'll be able to make or have this area looking relatively nice at some point soon. But yeah, nothing too crazy. We just want to find something smaller that will probably fit in, that will look relatively okay. That fits in. No, it doesn't, not really. I'm going to have to do some digging. We've actually gone for parking instead, as well as a small little park in here. Kind of makes sense. A little bit of parking for people who attend this building. Bit of parking when the underground is full for these, and if you want to just come and park up and have a walk along the seafront, then you can do so. So it kind of makes sense. And the next thing we want to do is just fill in this gap here, and we need to figure out whether we want some more high rises or whether we want something flat. Decisions. And there we have it. So I've just added a few medium / lower / high density buildings just on the edge here to kind of complete the small island that we have at the top here. And I think it looks really, really good actually. I think that's kind of a nice sort of flow that we've got going in. I think that's a nice little bit of area. Yeah, I think it's nice, especially with these buildings all stood up next to each other, same style of buildings, 3 different heights. I think that's really good. Yeah, so this area is coming along. It's very much a slow process because we want to try and get it right, because this is going to be the main part of our city, the main tourist attraction. But it's certainly come along very, very nicely, and I really like it. I hate to say it, I'm going to have to split this into 2 episodes because I've been sat here for like 6 hours trying to get things right. And I mean, they're getting there. There's a lot of unique things attached to this area, but yeah. So next episode we'll be finishing off most of this area, hopefully, at least the bulk of it, adding a lot more skyscrapers and stuff like that in. And I think it's going to look really, really good once we've done it, especially once we get a good view from the other side from the city. But yeah, let me know your suggestions. Let me know if you have any ideas. I do like this entrance. I think the entrance looks fantastic. So yeah, really happy with how this is coming together. Thanks very much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next one. Good night.